What is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and I'm back. Not your normal video for me in this channel, but something I figure we can have a little bit of fun with. I was looking across Facebook, and I stumbled across an article that a professor friend of mine shared about 17 shady questions college professors should answer. So essentially questions that people want to pick a professor's brain for. And I feel like I'm just that professor. Been teaching 13, 14 years, at the collegiate level alone, so I know what I'm talking about. But the first question I see is, why do college professors teach like you already know the material? Of course, we give it to you to read on the syllabus. You know, sometimes in a classroom, if you haven't read the book, and you say something like, some students look at you like, oh, where's that? I didn't get that far in the book. I'm like, it's on page 1. That's one of those they don't put on the teacher in that case. Next we have, why do college professors make attendance mandatory? I pay to take the class. If I want to skip, I should be able to without consequences. That's not true. That's like saying if I go to a movie theater, I pay for the movie ticket, I should be able to talk on my phone the whole time without consequences. It's about other people. Also, believe it or not, we want you to do well. And you're not going to do well if you skip class. You know, if you want to take a class you don't have to come to, take one that's fully online. Otherwise, the classes are met where the stuff you do in class is important.
Damn!
Why do college professors insist on saying, you won't be able to procrastinate on this assignment? Yeah, okay, we'll see about that. The reality is, it's true. Procrastination will almost always lead to crashing and burning. Whether it's you're handing an assignment that you half-assed, that you convince yourself, oh, this is gold. See how mine will do that the longer you wait. Or just because of that time you do something, or you excessively quote without giving the proper credit, i.e. plagiarism, that could get you in a lot of trouble. People do that as they get panicky, as they fear, which means if you procrastinate, you're more likely to do that. Also, procrastination stresses you out. Stress affects your health. Don't do it. Okay? There's plenty of time. Don't give me that whole, I worked to... Listen, I did the same thing. I worked, I went to school. I get it. But it's not the work in the school. It's all the extra time that, I got to watch this or Netflix or this. Budget your time. Do your work first, and then procrastinate on that stuff. Why do college professors make attendance a part of your grade? Like, you're getting paid whether I'm there or not. So to incentivize a little bit. So then it's like, well, the attendance actually, even if you think being there by itself isn't enough. Even if you think being there by itself isn't sufficient, at least, you gain something for being there. So it's meant to motivate you to do it more. Why do college professors do this? It's like they all sit down together and decide to plan the syllabus. Okay, guys, we all have going to exams in the same week. I'm tired. We don't structure that. That's structured by the school, at which we have to abide. Number 6. Why do college professors automatically assume you've just got unlimited funds lying around to get a textbook? That's not true. In today's world, there's plenty of schools that go with stuff called OERs, Open Educational Resources, which means free. There's also, I happen to use textbooks in my classes that I'll let students use an older edition that you can rent the digital copy of for under $10, and you can get $10. Or, if you're savvy enough, you'll probably find a PDF of it on the internet. I can't give that to you legally, but if I move to it being out there, you can find it. So there are plenty of opportunities where that's not the case. Okay, you don't always have to buy a brand new book. And I will tell you this, you should never buy from the bookstore at the schools. Okay, because they definitely overdo it a little bit. Sites like Shady, Barnes & Noble, always a better option, or renting from the school. But 7, why do college professors act like their class is your only class? Like, would you want me to teach you half-assed? Like, during the course of any given semester, I might be teaching 5 different classes, 10, 11 different sections. Do you want me to teach it that way? Like, oh, guys, you only like one of my classes. I'm not giving you that effort here. Just do some busy work. No, you'd be hella pissed, and you should be. So in that regard, the whole take classes that you can handle. Don't overwhelm yourself. If 4, 5, 6 classes is too much for you, scale back to 4, or scale back to 3. Fewer credits. I'd rather you do better, really well in a couple of classes than mediocre or struggle in a lot more. Okay, there's no rush to finish. Why do college professors give seating charts? Like, literally, why? You know what? I don't know. I would never give a seating chart. I would presume you have seating charts in maybe the bigger classes. Like when I went to college, we had a couple of auditorium-based classes. But even them, we didn't have seating charts for. I would say, I guess it's for the older professors to try to get names down. Beyond that, I don't know. That's the only one. That's the only one I will give you. That is a reasonable why have a seating chart. Why do college professors still do icebreakers? Because you don't want to talk. If we don't do icebreakers, everyone's sitting there, class 1, a couple of hands going up, because everyone thinks, shh, hey, if we don't ask a question, he's going to ask it out of here really soon. That's not the case. Class 1, here's another thing for class 1. Class 1 matters. Don't do that whole thing where you don't show up for class 1. You're like, oh, you mean it wasn't just the syllabus? No, it was a lot of things. It was the syllabus, but also everything you need to know for the rest of the class, setting it up, and the interactions, and usually you're starting into a chapter. So that's another BS thing. So if anyone, I wonder if that's a question to come up about class 1. But yes, the icebreakers enable you to talk. And sometimes you start opening stuff. You're like, oh, I like that show too. Oh, you into anime? Oh, you into drawing? You into music? That's how you meet people. It's called mingling.
Have you ever had a dream that you do?
So get off your damn phones and actually talk to people. Then maybe we wouldn't have to give icebreakers. Okay? Because, no, that's how I feel about that. Where's the time gone? Why do college professors all have such a big ego? LOL. Like, y'all went to school for 18 years to make $60K chill. 1, $60K, really? Where exactly are they giving us that? Because I'd be interested. 2, listen, it's not fair to make a blanket statement like that. There are dicks in every single field. And, it's not fair to put down college professors. Okay? Because they're doctors, so like that too. But guess what? There are also electricians. There are beauticians. There are freaking postal workers. There's every group. So don't do that automatically. It's not fair. Most of the time, when you think of all of your professors do and have to do, and I'm talking about ones that might have an aide. Maybe that's a little bit different, or somebody else runs the class, like in some of the higher 4-year schools or stuff like that. But ultimately, treat everyone. Most people, most college professors are pretty level-headed. But serious, $60K? I mean, without the overtime, that's pretty good. Okay, question number 11. Why do college professors love guest speakers? I just want to run and graduate. Okay, guest speakers could serve a really good purpose based on the class. If you have a class on, say, I'll use abnormal psychology. Might have abnormal psychology colleagues who might bring a guest speaker on one side of the class to talk about what's like working in the field, to talk about, or even talk about a specific disorder or diagnosis. Or in some cases, we've had people speak that have been suffering from something, recovering, and talk about their own experiences. First-hand stuff like that, if it's an area you're interested in, can be hugely beneficial. And why do college professors tell you to email them if they have any questions at the end of class when they don't answer you and it's been 2 days?
I'm busy. You want to come right now? Yeah, come right now.
Send an email at 1 in the morning. Based on when I actually see it, that's when you get a response. A lot of times, students, as much as apparently these people asking the questions think college professors are a little bit dicks sometimes. Like, apparently they also expect that we're going to answer questions immediately. You send the email when you say you're going to send it, you'll get a response when they say it was going to be there. Okay, and I can only speak for myself with that, but I always try. I'll check my emails, probably around 10 o'clock at night, and then I'll check it again after my next day's class, because if I have a morning class, I can't really get to in the morning, so it really depends on when you send. Why do college professors care about phones? Because it's freaking rude. If you were having how about this? And if you went on a date with somebody, and it's your first time talking to them, and you're just sitting there on the phone the whole time, or they're sitting there on the phone all the time, how would you react when afterwards? Hey, how'd it go? Oh, they were this, they were that, they were horrible. So it's just rude, okay? That I'd rather you not show and take the penalty for not showing. And some of you are going to hate me for this. I've been known, if you come to my class and you're on the phone the whole time, I'll tell you, hey, just so you know, you weren't here. And they'll be like, what do you mean? I was here. I'm sitting here. Okay, let me see a single note you took. Let me see that. Being on the phone, you're not here.
Damn!
That's how that works. Why do college professors even bother? This is number 14, by the way. Why do college professors even bother making note slideshows if they're just going to click through each slide after 7 seconds? It's not meant for you to act like it's the first time you're seeing the information. You're expected to sort of prep it before. And when they're using PowerPoints, they're likely just doing it for a visual. So I could point out components of something and then move on. And not so, this is the first time you're seeing this. Because if that was the case, you'd need twice as much time in the class. And, you know, why do college professors show movies during class? I'm not paying to watch movies. I can do that at home for free. I like that. I appreciate that with that answer. I personally would not show a movie in class for a whole period. Like, when I teach something like social psychology, I'll show segments of like a Stanford Prison Experiment. I'll show segments of some of the Milgram stuff. Definitely show videos. But if you're showing something, if you're showing a single item and it's longer than 15, 20 minutes, you should probably reconsider showing in class. Maybe have it posted as an activity or as a homework assignment to watch outside of class. But, to piggyback on that, how many of those students are going to take the time to watch that video, even though they could do that from their hand? Why do college professors put question marks on blank answers on tests? I clearly didn't know the answer. Honestly, here's why I put a question mark. Why didn't you try an answer? Why didn't you know the answer? If I give you a review sheet saying this is going to be on it, at least if you try an answer, you have the opportunity for partial credit. I also put the question mark, here's the reason for the question mark too, that you might not know, but a lot of times, if you don't put the question mark there, and I put an X somewhere next to the question, it has happened where a student will fill in the right answer when they get their test back, and be like, Professor, I think you marked something incorrect, and then you show it to me. By me putting that mark there, I know, listen, I put that mark there because there was nothing there. I didn't mark something there wrong. So that's more of a trick for us to sort of make sure we keep everything on check. Why do college professors believe it's a sin to let people out of class early? I think it depends on how early. Like, if I cover everything I'm going to cover, I'll let you go. But if you have a professor, my class is typically 2 hours and 45 minutes, meaning once a week. Or if it's in the summer, it's a little bit longer than that. But 2 hours and 45 minutes. So if we finish up at, say, 2:30 and we're done, yeah, you can go. That's fine. If you're new to checking out my videos, thanks. And if you liked, I don't know, stick on by, see what we got next. Have a good one.